It's been 4 years since we moved. There are still boxes stacked in each room. Memories are uncomfortable things that fight their way out of the boxes we are too afraid to open. This box is an all-American town, where most days there's barely enough time for breakfast, where my son, in his rush to wash down the candy concealed in his pocket with milk and frozen waffles, empties maple syrup across the lap of his last clean pair of pants. We're halfway to the school when he reminds me through the crunch of lint-coated M&Ms that he never did finish breakfast. I wonder what the teacher will think of a parent sending his child to school in shorts. In December, in Connecticut. Hopped up on chocolate and still hungry, briefly consider skipping school altogether. Dad, what do monsters do in the daytime? What if one crawls from under my bed and follows me to school one day? I tell him what all non-believers tell zealots. Monsters are cowards, son. They are more afraid of you than you are of them. His monster did come to school that day. My son stood as tall as his 8-year-old frame would allow, saw every trace of fear scrawled across the demon's young face, knew from catching creatures in our backyard that sometimes the violent thrashing is just a method to find a way out of its box. This box is an all-American town, where all-American monsters are never met with lethal force. There was always going to be one bullet with his own name on it, swallowed backwards so that it lives forever. Monsters are cowards, son. They are not the only ones. We choose not to acknowledge their existence. We choose to believe for some reason that mass shootings in this country are just an anomaly that will go away if we ignore it long enough. We stuff it into closets, throw it under our beds, we bury them, confident we can will them to where the wild things are. Compartmentalize our rage into boxes with names like violent video games, gun control, mental health issues. Give ourselves permission to deal with tragedy this way, to become labelers and box builders instead of fixers. We don't fix anything. We just move from one box to the next, to the next. How is it we moved and are still stuck in this town? We think it easier to blame a box than to deal with Pandora, when the truth is, it's just as easy for a box to kill another box as it is for a monster to devour our children, as easy to shoot weapons to the sky at funerals knowing those arms are too short to box with God. This was not supposed to happen in our box. The monsters under our children's beds are not supposed to be mirrors. Babies are not supposed to be brought to us in boxes we are afraid to bury. This is a new town. It's been 4 years since we tried to move on. We still can't unpack the boxes. They still gather dust in dark corners.
Jay Ward, last poet in this round. We're going to figure out, we're going to